change to something completely different. You know, it's like the picture of that black dude like sitting up there with his, big old cock hanging out. It's like I
don't know that dude. Why don't you tell us a little?
I know it's. I think you have him on a shirt.
Yeah,
Barry. But no, this isn't changing.
No, it's not.
How in the hell did you pick this for tonight?
It's the week of romance, my friend.
Oh, it is.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like
It's a Valentine's week.
that's right.
That's do you like my creepy romantic French voice?
I love it.
Is it turning you on?
Yeah, just keep it coming, big boy.
That's what she said.
You're making me horny.
Welcome to the creepiest little podcast there ever was.
I know. Episode 77.
Episode 77.
I think you're making me like blush a little bit.
I see some rosiness in your cheeks.
Yeah.
Oh, your face is red like a rose.
I really don't know how to take it.
I'm sounding like some degenerate alcoholic smoke a pack a day French guy. Yes, oui. Would you like a drink?
Oh my gosh.
Well, happy early Valentine's Day to all of our lovers and listeners out there on the digital airwaves.
Yeah.
We would not want you to be deprived of love on this sentimental of sentimental weeks.
So y'all have been married 4 years. Three to four.
Three
and some change.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotcha.
We luckily married in 2020, so it's all I just got to count the years, or look at the calendar and say, oh, what year is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah, right before Trump got defeated.
Oh no, oof.
Man, sorry to connect that to such a negative event.
What a current hot topic though, politics and Trump.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my.
Yeah.
And we're not going to talk about it tonight.
No, I don't.
Yes, we are.
I don't
Just
think
kidding.
we would do ourselves any service to talk about it. I really don't know what to think about this shit show that's going on.
I don't either, man. And I guarantee you, although there has been some pushback, I feel, on the Democrat side about at least people are addressing Joe Biden's mental health.
Yeah, I have seen some articles, even in popular media.
Yeah, he was grilled in some sort of public forum the other day. And
they tried to turn it around.
Oh, yeah. How dare he? And then he made like 4 other mistakes.
Yeah.
While he was trying to have a rebuke against his...
I feel sorry for the guy. I really do.
I really don't. He can just go away. Like he's had his time.
Okay.
Go to the nursing home, Grandpa. It's time time to go to pasture.
Is your empathy broke?
It is.
Okay.
It very much is. But, there's lots of really good up and coming, younger, more invigorated, good, well-thinking people that this platform's kind of being taken away from because it's going to be between 2 old fucking guys again.
Yeah.
2 old white guys.
Yeah, that's sad.
Yeah.
We
sure do love America.
And I can say it. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to vote for Alzheimer's. I hate Alzheimer's. I feel sorry for the people with it.
I do too.
Yeah,
but we're not going to put them in a position of president of the United States, right?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Yes, you can feel bad for them, and by doing so, let's not put them in a position of power.
Yeah, of increased stress.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I'm concerned for the dude.
Okay, so now we have to roll that back a little bit because we have made fun of his situation on here before, but John Fetterman out of Pennsylvania has really turned it around.
Yeah.
And he's become a kind of an advocate of some what people would call right-wing things, but lately a lot of people have become an advocate of right-wing border issues because they're getting it finally.
Yeah.
They're finally getting, and it may be a product of governors of Florida and Texas busing these migrants to these cities. They're out of sight, out of mind. Like, oh, we've got to be humanitarian and be good to these people and help them out. It's because they're not flooding your backyard, yo.
I mean, the Texas establishment are saying that.
Yeah.
They're saying, yeah, obviously, because we've been busing illegals up there. And they're seeing the light.
Yeah, now that they are involved with it and it's not out of sight, out of mind for them, they're going, oh, yeah, let's close the border.
Yeah.
Let's close the border.
I think I'm a little more optimistic, and I think there's a level of conversation that's developing now out of, it's like we've been divided so hard, and maybe people are starting to get tired of it.
Yeah, this really shouldn't be a politicized thing. It's like you can't be a country without your borders. And we're still allowing immigrants to come over legally, vetting them, getting their background checks.
Sure.
And we're not judging them by the color of their skin.
We're going to have to continue. I mean, even do better job of it as time goes on, letting people come in the right manner. Yeah.
And what a slap in the face to those people that do come in the right manner, that we just let millions of undocumented, illegal whatevers come across and just have their way. But I think things are changing. We're on the precipice of change, I think. More eyes are open to that.
Right.
But hey, how have you been since the last podcast? It's been a couple of weeks. I've been away.
Oh my gosh.
And I guess we are.
I've been starving.
Have you?
Yeah.
Why?
For a podcast.
I was going to say, you look okay. Like you look like you're not starving. You're still there.
Yeah.
I've still got a bigger belly than you do, but yours is still there. You're not starving.
I have not mastered controlled healthy starvation for the sake of weight optimization.
Sure.
I have not mastered that.
Me neither. It's a constant thing. I'm always working on it, but not mastered.
Right. But I'm starving for conversation. If we go 1 week, I'm pretty good. Whenever we go 2 weeks, I start feeling it. When we go 3 weeks, it sucks.
Crucial, yeah.
Yeah.
The withdrawal starts to kick in.
Right.
Get a weird twitch.
Right. I was driving around today, noticing that I was talking to myself in my head, and
like, wait a minute, I need to be saving these topics for the podcast. I need to be saving these.
And I know I'm just in a bad place, which kind of broaches on one of the points I put on.
Yeah. Let's get to that. But we gotta mention it's just you and me tonight.
Yo, that's what we're missing. A couple of people.
Well, I mean, we're missing one. Ghost Bro is quite the ghost, so he shows up when it benefits him.
We're still missing him.
Yeah. Oh, yes, we miss him.
Yeah, we miss Ghost Bro.
Love that guy.
Yeah,
we really miss him when the internet is not effing working, and God, it's
Ghost Bro. Our internet's broke,
dude. What the hell, man? This is like.
I mean, we know you don't listen to these episodes, so. But what the hell?
We're missing Savage Bro too tonight.
Yeah, what's he doing?
Man, he just there's a game going on tonight, something like that.
Really?
Football game, Super Bowl. But
is that tonight?
Yeah, I think it's between Taylor Swift's team and not Taylor Swift's team.
Okay, yes.
So
I remember my daughters told me this.
Yeah, and he's not here, so obviously he can't go without seeing Taylor Swift. That's why he's not here tonight.
Good Lord.
Savage Bro cannot miss a Taylor Swift showing, so we're without him tonight.
Well, good for him.
Yeah, I mean, good for her. Good for Taylor Swift. She is all over the freaking place, right?
Yeah, I'm gaining a mild respect.
Even if you don't like her music, okay, she's a good role model, right? No scandals as of yet. Not scantily clad and skanky.
Yeah,
like a good role model for young girls.
She writes all her own.
Oh, does she?
Stuff.
Does she really?
I have heard this. Okay. I don't know if it's correct.
Okay.
But by somebody, Carson, by somebody who actually knows Taylor. I mean, he doesn't actually know her, but no.
Oh, Carson, you got to call in and let us know. How do you know Taylor Swift?
I know he has examined Taylor's.
We've all examined.
He's
Taylor
nerded
Swift.
out on her. I'll put it that way. Right?
Yeah. Here we are talking about her being a role model, and we're talking like creepy, pervy old dads. Oh, we've examined the Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
But no, she is a good role model for young ladies that are listening to her and looking up to her. So
she runs her own business.
Yeah.
And she has escaped the grasp of big recording industry. Mm-hmm. It's like kind of poked them in the ass, so to speak.
And she's now managed to overshadow the NFL just by sheer amount of her presence. That's all.
Yeah.
And because I guess she's dating one of the players.
She has become maybe the queen of music.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She has outsold and outperformed the Beatles. Elvis, and I think Michael Jackson might have held that record for the longest time. I think she's either about to trump him. There we go. No pun intended. Or has already.
Yeah, yeah, and she's not living on speedballs.
No,
we know of.
No, that we know of. She doesn't look like a meth hoe. So
right. So it's like that's pretty damn positive.
Yeah, right on. Well, good for society at least jumping onto a role model that is elegant and sophisticated and not about self-destruction. Mm-hmm. I mean, we all kind of worshipped the grunge era and Kurt Cobain, and look where all those dudes are dead
also
now.
A legend.
Yeah, for different reasons, but
has Taylor Swift survived 27? How old is she?
Oh, yeah, she's got to be above. That's a really good question. She's definitely above 27 now.
Hey, Siri, how old is Taylor Swift?
I'm going to say 35. 36.
Taylor Swift is 30 years old.
So she's
close, yeah.
So she's past that.
Yeah, she has made it past Cobain, Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, Jim Morrison. There's a few others, I think, that were at 27.
That's right.
Like that's God's cutoff date. Like
she beat Chris Farley. I think he was like 32. You know, another one of the greats.
Okay, I got a confession to make. When I first met you, before we were ever friends,
I know where this is going.
You reminded me of Chris Farley.
Yeah,
like you came. I have this animated memory of you bounding into. You were. I don't know. You weren't a resident. Maybe you were a resident. Maybe you were fresh out of med school and had just gotten your MD.
But I was about 290 at the time, weight wise.
Oh, so you were heavier. You were portly.
Yeah.
I
42, 44 jeans.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm at the 44s.
Yeah.
You know, what are you at right now?
36. I'm wearing 36.
Nice. Damn, dude.
Yeah. I think I can keep it right there. I could be cut and leaner, but like I said, I haven't figured out controlled starvation.
Yeah. When you do, let me know how that works.
Right.
Well, I mean, we'll see it in real time, obviously.
Yeah. Is it worth it? I don't know.
But you were working under Dr. Tibbles or were you a resident? How does that work once you get out of medical school and you don't call it's not an internship, right? It's a residency, correct?
Yeah. So the thing that has remained the same, is go to med school, graduate from med school, and then you kind of pick your area or your field. I chose family medicine. Mm-hmm. Other people might choose internal medicine, or they might choose general surgery, mm-hmm. and then you do residency. And then if you want to go from there, say within my realm, to deliver more babies, mm-hmm. you want to focus on that, or you want to go to sports medicine and do more like family medicine / sports medicine, you'll do a fellowship.
Okay.
Right. Or within internal medicine, the broad field of internal medicine, they can go on to be a, deal mostly with old people, a gerontologist or an endocrinologist or something of that nature.
Yeah. Okay. And I don't liken you to Chris Farley as an insult. It's a compliment.
No, dude was artistic.
Oh yeah, bubbly and profound and undeniable. And you came literally bounding into this room like, "Hey, I'm Dr. Fagley. What's going on, man?" And I had like poison ivy rash, and you're like, "Oh my god, your shit's all fucked up. And you talk like a fag." No, that's not what you said at all. But I'm used to
it might have been
sitting in the doctor's office, and you're waiting, and they come in and like, "Hey, how's it going? What's wrong with you?" Oh, okay. You've got the gingivitis. Okay.
That's never worked for me.
No, you came in bubbly, like literally bounding into the room, sat down, listened to me, got to know me. And it just reminded me of like Chris Farley's formidable entrances. If you've ever watched his skits, the dude had an entrance and an aura about him that you couldn't deny. So
I just watched Billy Madison last night with the family.
He's the bus driver.
Yes, that's right.
You kids get in and shut up.
And he gets so mad, and it's great because like you can see the pressure like building in his brain, right? It's on his face. He had this ability in performance to do that.
Yeah, he really did. Probably to the detriment of his own health.
Yeah, that's probably it. So, besides the speedball.
Yeah, that had an effect on his demise for sure.
So all that to say, good job, Taylor Swift, for
full circle. I don't know.
Yeah.
Thanks, Taylor Swift, for being a good role model for our little ones. We hope others follow in her footsteps for sure.
Right.
So, anyways, it's been this is kind of a little blip in between. We've got another couple of segments coming up with elected officials.
Oh yeah, anything good?
Yeah, I don't really want to
divulge.
Yeah, because I'm afraid if I do, then the guy has a pretty serious job.
Yeah,
and you never know what could pop up. I don't want to be like, oh, we're going to promise this, and on this date it's going to happen, and then he's like, hey, I can't make it tonight.
Yeah,
but
man, it's been okay. So, what are some of the things you've kind of learned, or bigger themes that you appreciate about the last, this segment?
Okay, good question. That the work is a lot more intensive than I would have anticipated, especially the city council roles. Like those guys are a lot more involved for no pay almost.
Yeah. I think it's less political than I thought.
It is.
More so at the state level. Mm-hmm. But as you get down into the weeds of local politics, it's rare. We have not encountered any politics.
Political bias. It's more about character.
Yeah, it's more about the job, the granularity of the job itself, right? And so that's interesting.
Yeah, like there would be I've voted for Democrat candidates just based on their character in whatever position. Mm-hmm. So it wouldn't be odd to have a candidate that I knew well, and there has been before locally saying, well, I'm going to run on the Democrat ticket. This is the way I'm going to oppose my opponent. And yeah, totally fine. And the state level is a little bit different. Man, there's some, and that's another thing I didn't, Stuckey kind of highlighted some of the shit slinging that goes on with, what are you?
We got the I don't know if I'm on camera, but
blast in the new riff. Let me switch you. You will be. Yeah, new riff.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
But Stuckey kind of highlighted some of the shit slinging that goes on, even at a state representative level, and how money at that point, money from outsiders starts trickling in, and it's like, why? You're a district rep. Why is money from far west Texas trickling in to affect our election in our district?
Yeah,
because there's overall
money talks,
grander agendas, I guess, at
right.
bay.
And I don't think we've done well protecting ourselves from that. The fact that money talks,
it's tough. I could have
right. I mean, you would think this would be.
We can't sit here at this table and act like if we were in that spot, like we wouldn't be affected by it, like it wouldn't sway us in some way or another. Money has talked, always will talk.
Yeah, I have had that thought. At what point do you? In that position, I can't say I'm not in that position, but of course I think about, well, if I were and some company, offered a sizable donation, how would I protect myself from not being swayed, right? Like taking the sizable donation and in my head, I'm like,
once you take it, it's essentially public record, right?
Yeah.
It's a public transaction.
That's not talking about some of the underhanded ways.
I guarantee you there's a lot more
the
cash
insider trading.
Yeah,
that's a big one.
It's a great time to be a Pelosi, right?
Yeah. I mean, you get right. She's lost her chief investor, but or I shouldn't say it. I mean, that was like brutal and
it's
bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
The dude got murdered in his home.
No, he didn't get murdered, did he? I thought he survived.
No, I think he got murdered.
I don't remember. Did he survive or did he get murdered? We'll put that up on the poll.
Okay. I can ask Siri.
Ask Siri. Paul Pelosi, is he alive or dead? I'm pretty sure he's alive.
Hey, Siri. Is Paul Pelosi alive or dead?
He was born April 15th, 1940, and is 83 years old.
Still alive.
Oh, he's still alive.
Yeah, he was just.
He got the shit beat out of him.
About a crackhead and with a hammer in his underwear.
Yeah. Jeez.
But
wouldn't wish that on anybody.
Yeah, the insider. He's even if he did die, he did well with insider trading. So.
Oh yeah, like 25 million. Well,
yeah,
it's something ridiculous.
They'll be okay.
Yeah. But that I think that's part of the problem. The corruption is people.
It's not limited to just them, and then those are the ones that get exposed. Like, how many fuckers do we not know about?
Apparently, a lot.
Oh, yeah. I would not be surprised to find out that it's over 50%. Of people running for some sort of public office.
The higher up you go, the more likely it is.
But yeah, I think the work with the local elected officials is a little more extensive than I was anticipating, and the time required that they put in, almost at a volunteer status, because they're not making bank.
No.
I think commissioner is a pretty decent paying job, but it is also a full-time position.
Right.
It's a Monday through Friday or Saturday and Sunday for emergencies, whatever. It's a full-time position. County judge, I don't know what it pays, but I think JD's done great work, and especially the work with bringing up, elevating the cosmetic parts of your town, what they're doing with the courthouse,
Yeah. Yeah. And for a lot of people, most of the politicians that we talked to did not like target going in, maybe the mayor of Paradise. But there again, she sort of just kind of on a whim decided to run, and then the last 8 years of her life has been about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's crazy.
What have you learned? Anything stand out to you?
Right. Mostly it's that. It's like these are normal people who are filling a role in the community.
Yeah.
And they are at least talking to them. And I think I have a pretty good bullshit meter, but like they're really not, they don't have any alternative agenda that I could tell.
Yeah. So having a conversation with them makes them human and relatable and approachable. And I think there's some major cognitive dissonance that happens when you just hear sound bites from these people or TikTok clips, and everything now can be altered. You don't even know if the soundbite or clip that you're hearing is genuine, because AI is replicating people's fucking voices.
Yeah, it is.
So you really don't know, at one, if it's been altered by AI these days. Two, if it's been cut up and edited to sound in a certain context.
Yeah.
Than it was originally intended to.
I just watched a Joe Rogan or a clip that was Joe Rogan.
Oh, I think I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. I couldn't tell that it wasn't Joe Rogan.
Yeah. I think he posted it. And yeah, I think he did. I think he posted it and was like, what the fuck is this? This isn't me. I just wanted to post this so you people know this is not, this did not happen on my show. This was not a segment from my show. But yeah, it was completely, I think it was AI produced, right? Yeah, that's frightening.
Yeah, it is. But I would say, and to a large degree, these local politicians are not, they're reactive to the things that pop up. They're not so forward thinking like, yeah, I'm going to get this done. And especially the episode with Eddie Allen, realized that he kind of got in there and there's so many projects at hand.
Yeah, and hurdles.
You really can't have an agenda.
Yeah.
It's like your agenda is to attend to the things that pop up.
Trickle through what you can, there's so many things already in play.
Yeah.
So I can't even imagine. But one day, I don't know, I think I'll throw my hat in the ring for something. It's just, I don't know, I'm starting to feel, as I get older and a little bit wiser, more patient, more understanding, I'm starting to feel a little bit of calling. Like, maybe you can be relatable to the people. Maybe you can run for one of these positions and do good.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that would be.
You should.
That would be my campaign slogan, is like, I want to just do good.
Right.
I want to serve my community and do good.
And that, I think you should. I mean, you're kind of a benchmark of this community. The Overton family. I mean, they've been here, what, 1850s?
1907 is the tax records in this county show, and then family hearsay was like post-Civil War era. So
okay, gotcha.
Long time.
Yeah.
Long time. I know we have photographs in the bend of the Trinity River preceding 1900s. I think it was still in the 1800s, late 1800s, of wagon trains that had stopped to camp in that area. I need to dig through those. Those photos they're there. They're just I've got to find them.
Man, that's crazy. Do you ever sit around and just try to envision that time, here?
Well, what's happened with our imagination is when you try to envision that time and that era, it automatically happens in like a sepia tone or a black and white because of television broadcasts.
Yeah.
It's like anything before the 1960s was all black and white, right? Like there was no color back then. So you have to remind yourself, like, no, all this shit happened in live, living, brilliant color.
Yeah.
But your imagination won't let you do that. It automatically translates, anything past this era was in black and white. Have you ever thought about that?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's just it's hard. It's a hard hurdle to really get over because everything that you've seen, I would say, right up until maybe the mid '60s, black and white.
Yeah, probably.
Mm-hmm. And old photographs are sepia tones, and
I mean, I couldn't imagine colors weren't everywhere, and they weren't as bright, probably.
Right. Yeah, you think of the past as some sort of muted color pair, but it's not. So I love seeing these old historical photographs remastered and redone with like full color.
Yeah, that's cool.
Because it makes it seem so much different. And it's like, oh, yeah. These people were in color back in the day.
I wonder if they will ever master remastering photographs so they actually look more real as well.
Like current photographs?
I look at remastered photographs, but they still look like old because the lens lacks some definition.
Yes, that's already happening, and it's because of AI.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, they're retouching old photographs and making them look even more modern and crisp and defined. But
I would probably buy that book. If somebody issued, I don't know that it exists yet, right?
Yeah.
Somebody issued a book of photographs that have been completely updated. That would be worth buying.
So this is a hypothetical. This hasn't happened.
Not that I know of.
I bet it has. We need to.
Okay, let's do some research. I will be doing some research on that.
Maybe somebody that's got that book can call in out of our 20.
Yeah, doc line 555-5555. Yeah.
Maybe one of our 24 listeners can call in. But we had a good trip. Had a good trip to the mountains. We took a.
That's right. Y'all went to Colorado. Y'all went with Garrett and his wife.
We went
and
Garrett
little one,
and their little one, who Cora just looks up to. She's 4 and Cora just turned 1. We just had a birthday party for my little girl, and we have managed to keep her alive and thriving for a year. So as a parent, it's like, congrats to us. It feels good. It's a good milestone. Not only watching your little one grow, but you're like, we made that thing, and it's alive still because we're hopefully doing a good job.
I had some observations and emotions at the birthday party yesterday, and we'll get to that, but okay. Tell us about the trip to Colorado.
The trip was great. The intentions were to go just kind of at a leisurely pace. We had originally
because of the 4 and 1 year old, or because of the old fuckers on there.
All of the above.
Okay,
all the above. We are not spring chickens no more.
Okay,
I'm not 20-year-old something chance driving through the night like, let's leave at 6 p.m. We'll get there at 5 a.m. and we'll be ready to roll.
That type of travel is for the past.
Nope, that's done. Okay. And I don't miss it, honestly. I really don't. I'm like, yeah, we'll sleep till 7 or so, get shit loaded up and get on our way. And, if we've got to stay somewhere halfway, that's okay too.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. Right. It's really the new American road trip for me.
Yeah, that's cool.
Cut it in half with a cheap motel.
It's like, why rush that shit?
Ooh, that's a good podcast name.
Why rush that shit?
No, cut in half with a cheap motel.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. I like it.
I need to write that down.
Yeah, you don't have anywhere to write it down.
My phone's over there. Can you put it in the notes? Oh, I guess I can type it in the notes.
Oh, looky there. Look at you.
I know. Technology.
Man.
Which we're having difficulties
Cut it in half with a cheap motel.
Mm-hmm. Cut it.
I'm trying to think of all the ways that could be taken for double meaning, but I really don't think it can. So
if somebody wants to take artistic liberties, let them do it.
yeah, okay, cool. If you detect any alternative meetings for that, call the dock line.
Yep. Send an email too. Anyways, it was a good trip. We originally intended to go to Casa Bonita. Have you heard of this? Have you seen this?
No.
Okay. In the words of Savage Bro here. It is Joe T's is a local Mexican place.
Yeah.
Food kind of sucks.
Yeah, Joe T. Garcia's.
But everybody loves it because of the ambiance, right?
Yeah, they kind of have a successful, it's like cash only.
Yeah.
They keep an ATM in the lobby.
The free-flowing margaritas, cheap food, and a really cool atmosphere. It's just a big, fun, sprawling
That's
place.
what they've done well. And their fajitas ain't bad.
So Casa Bonita, their fajitas really aren't that bad. Okay. But Casa Bonita was originally kind of the same concept in Denver, and it fell in ruin with either bad management or just over time in general. The creators,
or Denver sucks. Technically, Denver doesn't suck. But
technically, parts of it suck.
Okay.
Technically, other parts don't. Like any good city, like it's got its
that's true.
But anyways, the creators of South Park bought Casa Bonita, and they decided we're going to put our fortune back into this. They had an episode specializing in it.
Oh, I think we did
Casa
talk
Bonita,
about this.
Casa Bonita, food and fun and a festive atmosphere.
So those are the South Park dudes.
They had cliff divers, and Casa Bonita has cliff divers. So they bought it out, completely just redid it, and now it is a fucking sensation to a degree that we have had reservations 6 months ago that have still not come to fruition.
Wow.
So the reservation is you send you sign up to get on their email list. They email you an authorization or eventually a link that says, okay, now you can place your reservation. This was 6 months ago that we did this.
Holy shit.
And we have still not received that email to get on the books.
Yeah.
So we weren't able to do it. We're like, surely 6 months.
So theoretically, at some point in the future, you'll sign on, you'll have an email. And
so word is right now that it's up to a year before people are getting these emails. It's pretty incredible. Like, good for those guys. They've turned this into a national sensation.
Yeah.
So we're hoping that the email comes through in winter.
So have you picked the date you want to go, or you don't have the right?
You don't have the right to do that until you get your email.
Wow.
Yeah. So you have to wait 6 months just to make the reservation, or you have to wait an untold amount of number of months just to make your reservation.
Man, that carries some like wicked flavor to it.
Yeah.
It's something about that makes it like, okay, at some point you're going to get this email.
It feels very.
And you're going to, and it's going to be like winning the lottery.
Yeah. And it makes you feel it's a very exclusive thing too.
Uh-huh.
So we're hoping that the email still comes in winter. That way Garrett and I can fly up there, go to Casa Bonita, and then go ski at Loveland, which is where we skied.
Okay.
And
tell me about Loveland.
Loveland is a very big, beautiful, wonderful ski area. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Outside of Denver?
Yeah. Outside of Denver. So it is in between Denver and Grand Junction on Interstate 70. Literally on Interstate 70.
Wow. Okay.
You go up. This is the route that everybody takes from Denver to, you go under the Eisenhower Tunnel. Yep. Which is like 2 miles under a fucking mountain.
Yep.
And then you come out in the big tourist industry of Breckenridge, Keystone, Copper Mountain.
Yep.
What's the other one there? But that's where all the tourists end up going in Colorado.
It's like mid-tier big ski resorts.
Yeah. But when you go under this tunnel, you are going under Loveland Ski Area.
Okay.
The ski area is built on top of the mountain right there. You literally ski over the tunnel and over the interstate.
Huh.
So it's right there. But it starts at like 11,000 feet. So if you decide to go ski there and you're not a local, give yourself a couple of days to acclimate.
Yeah, because you're going to be just like
from what is it here? It's
out of breath.
It's like 880 feet here.
Yeah.
From 880 feet to 11,000 feet in 12 hours, your body's like, no.
Yeah.
No.
Right.
No. Dude, take me back down.
Even 2 days can work to acclimate you.
Yeah, so we thankfully had 3 days. We stopped and stayed in Colorado Springs, and then to our destination, which was Evergreen, which is a 30-minute drive from Loveland. So we went from like 800 to 5,500, and then to like 9,500, and then, but still skiing above 11,000 feet is tough. Yeah, I think the peak of that ski area, which we went to the peak of the ski lifts is 12,200 feet. 12,200 feet.
I mean, that's significant.
For an out of shape fat Texan on a pair of skis is rough. But we made it. I was so exhausted that day. It was a great ski area. It also has a military background. They built that to serve. It's not the one I'm going to talk about here in a little bit, but there was another division of alpine soldiers, and they trained in this very difficult ski area to be alpine soldiers overseas in World War II.
Right.
So from there, we went to Twin Lakes to Leadville, and then skied another day at Ski Cooper, which is a little county-owned ski mountain outside of Leadville.
Where's Leadville?
Leadville is central Colorado.
Okay.
And I believe it is the highest, don't quote me on this, I believe it is the highest, it's the highest city in Denver. I mean, highest city in
the state of Denver.
Yeah, in the state of Denver. It's the highest city in Colorado. It may be the highest city in the United States. Contiguous United States.
I mean, anybody can fact check that, right? Ask
Savage
Chad.
Bro's not here tonight, so it hasn't been fact
checked
checked 100% by the bros yet.
So if you need to know, look it up.
But anyways, the ski area there, Ski Cooper, was also a creation by the military, specifically for the 10th Mountain Division. To have a place to train and ski before they were shipped overseas in World War II. And it once the World War II was over, the county turned it into a public ski area. Wow. And that's how. So, in honor of that, I brought back. And I brought back here a bottle of
try this
10th Mountain Division bourbon. Okay, there it is. You see it right there. That's it. Okay, so we had during one of the few runs we had made down the mountain, we had to stop and have refreshments, and the bartender's like, "You guys seem like bourbon guys." Yeah. I'm like, how'd you know?
Quite honestly.
So I want you to try this. And he did. And I'm like, okay, this is pretty good. And then I saw the bottle. I'm like,
whoa,
is this some juice that's bought by, out of Indiana, out of a distillery up there? He's like, no, this is distilled and aged and made in Vail, Colorado. And it's not bad.
Not bad at all.
It's not bad. This one comes in at 2 years old and 92 proof, but their aging, their aging seasons up there are way different than Kentucky. You have a lot more variations in temperature and weather and at 11,000 feet than you do in the hills and hollers of Kentucky.
Right. Which does advance aging and give some of that woody character that it has.
Yeah, it really does. But you could look at this with your naked eye and go, there's no way that's got to be older than 2 years, but it's not. 2 years old and pretty damn good. So I bought a bottle of it in honor of the 10th Mountain Division. And
my glasses. What proof is this?
92.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's not terribly hot. It's drinkable.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Drinkable. But we had a good time. And carting around a 1-year-old. She loves snow.
How'd she do on it?
She did great.
The whole time. Yeah.
We took her tubing. Actually set her in the tube with us going down the tubing hill. Never cried, never shouted. Like almost, I think we have a thrill seeker on her hands.
Okay.
She was, if you look at her, the GoPro, if you look at her facial reactions, it's like,
she's like,
more,
Yeah. Like that was lame.
Something a little more aggressive here, please. But no, we had a really great time. It was a really great getaway. A couple caveats with driveways and snow and ice. But we persevered. We made it. I won't go into the details with them, but the trip up there was kind of a bitch because of false advertisements on Airbnb of ingress and egress to the house that we were staying.
Okay. So what does that mean in English language?
That means access to and from should be accessible. Their description was you just need all-wheel drive and chains, which we had. And end up the last 0.8 of a mile, the road is completely iced over because there's a spring that comes out of the fucking mountain.
It's kind of a known.
So
right?
when the spring comes out, covers this roadway, and then obviously when it gets below freezing or winter time, it turns into a sheet of ice.
Okay.
And it's a narrow, tiny street that's a freaking snowmobile trail.
Yeah.
So we ended up just not being able to make it. Thankfully, the hosting company refunded it, and we found another Airbnb, thanks to Garrett,
Okay.
But it could have been a lot worse than it was. We almost ended up in 2 wrecks because of it. One our fault, and then the other one not our fault. The other one was caused by a local that slid down the goddamn hill on a sheet of ice. So I'm like,
shit.
Yeah, we're out of towners and Texans, but I don't feel so bad because that dumbass just skidded down it, and he's from here. So yeah, I didn't feel too bad about it. But it's all done, and we moved on and found a new
I would
place.
say that keeps me from going skiing. That's one of the things, besides the cost of skiing, right?
Well, the cost of skiing is not bad if you go to places like Ski Cooper. Small county-owned or family-owned resorts that don't probably offer lodging on site.
Right.
But it was under $100 a day to ski there. On Thursdays,
that's not bad.
On Thursdays, they have $30 Thursdays. That's an all-day ski pass if you order ahead of time online.
Okay, gotcha. So that's
$30.
Because some of the ski passes now at some of the larger places
Are insane. Over $200 a day.
Yep, that's right.
I mean, I can see there's a lot of finance funding that has to go on to keep these places running, especially the size they are now.
Yeah.
But if you can afford it, like the ski in, ski out is the way to go. Get to your condo or whatever, park your car. You don't have to worry about road conditions, whatever.
Right.
You don't have to worry about packing your shit up, going to the slopes, packing it back up, going back home. You just ski out of your condo, get on the lift, and then when you're dog tired at the end of the day, you ski right back in your condo.
So that's going to be the smaller. The best price is smaller ski resorts,
but a little more work involved.
Yeah, I got you.
And fun, like the attitude is the attitude at there's some I'm just gonna say it. There's some cunts.
Attitude or altitude?
Attitude. At Loveland, we met some mouthy cunts.
Interesting.
In the words of the Hound from
you use the C word.
Yeah,
hardcore.
I don't mean women. I mean just
straight up
dudes that are douchebag, like Denver and
like man bun wearing low testosterone dudes,
Subaru driving, vape cloud blowing males.
Yeah.
Yes. And so we've got a buddy up there who married a local woman, and her family's all from there. And we were talking about, he's like, yeah, all those dudes that act that way are all fucking move-ins from California or other places or New York or whatever.
Yeah.
They come here and they act like they own the place. Like,
dude, what's so tell me about this experience.
I'm trying to think. 4 or 5.
And you can't just like lay them out. It's just like because they'll sue your ass.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. They probably have powerful lawyers and they drive BMWs.
The dads are probably powerful lawyers, right? It's like something about man bun wearing.
One of them was an old man
driving.
One of them was an old gray man that was behind me in the ski line, and he was making fun of my GoPro on my helmet. I'm like, dude,
seriously?
I'm skiing with a friend that I haven't skied with in over 15 years, and I'm also skiing with. This is his first time for his little girl to ski, so I want to catch up. I'm like,
what?
Bend over and lick your own butt. I don't know what. You're just he's a prick for no reason.
That's not something you would witness here.
Yeah, he's probably one of those BMW drivers that like smelling their own farts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he felt the need to comment on
for no reason, just in line.
A stranger's like GoPro.
Yeah.
It's like
out loud. Out loud. He's like, oh, I see you there, Mr. Eye in the sky, or the all-seeing eye. Okay. This guy, he's probably got a dried up pecker that, is micro penis.
We don't do that shit in Texas. and then right? But
no, I thought we're kind of friendly here.
Yeah. It's like, that's something, I don't know where I expect that. It's like,
so I didn't even respond to him. I just turned around and looked at him and kind of,
okay, you're a shithead.
Yeah. I gave him about a 2 or 3 second stare, and then I was like, all right, I'm moving on with my life. But it wasn't the only one. Garrett bumped into some guy because, you wear ski boots and you're tired. It was just a small bump, and this guy standing at the bar, and he's like, hey, I'm sorry, man. I didn't mean to do that. And the guy turned around, he's like, oh, well, of course somebody with a Texas hat would say that or happen to bump into me. He had a Texas Ranger toboggan on.
Yeah.
But there was a couple other instances where I think there was 5 people that were just cunts.
Yeah, they were
in one day.
Out and out rude.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
but then
that's interesting.
I went up there and out skied him. I did have a flattering compliment from our friends. Her dad was like, he didn't say it to me, he said it to our other friend. He's like, that big guy can ski?
Yeah, that's cool.
And Philip's like, yeah, he skis better than all of us.
So do you slalom?
That's not a term for snow skiing. That's only for water skiing.
Oh.
I mean, you can kick off.
Where you have that little mounds you like ski around.
That's like mogul skiing.
Moguls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like moguls.
Okay.
I mean, I can
like
ski,
those are hard, right?
I can ski steep, steep stuff, good powder.
Yeah.
Moguls are tough. And it's because one, I am like tall and top heavy, and they are hard on the knees.
Yeah.
For people that are in shape and do it every day, they are hard on the knees. So I feel like we're running along with this bullshit about me just talking about skiing and
yeah, it's cool.
Okay.
Okay, so there was some way that worked into a bigger point, and it was okay.
Oh, yeah. So we were going to bring up.
So you're sitting around on Facebook the whole time.
Yeah.
Just all the time while you're skiing. And so that had to feel weird. It's like, uber connected to everything, what's going on in the world, because all of a sudden you're sitting around like, you're taking dumps on the toilet. You're sitting there like running the news.
I got to catch up with the world events.
Yeah, I did not get. Okay, I'm being cheeky, but I did not get a single like forwarded news post from you
during the time I was gone.
Yeah,
no, it's because I wasn't reading the news and looking up everything, and then you kind of have this epiphany once you detach from it. It's like there's some sort of a bliss.
Okay.
With being disconnected from world events that you have no control of, you have no say in, that does nothing but cause you angst and stress
and worry.
Yeah. And there's not a goddamn thing that you can do about it except read the stupid shit that somebody wrote about and their interpretation of it. I think
that's a valid point.
So why bother?
So that's super valid. Why do we read the news? Why we would be better not reading the news?
We would truly be. I was thinking like,
I do.
The world still existed in its problems in the post-technological or pre-technological era. And then, the newspaper kind of brought world events to light, but that still took time to get from the event to your
it was more
eyeballs.
A notification that this had happened.
Yeah. Right? Now it's instantaneous and it's constant. It never ends.
Yeah.
But even before them, when our ancestors were cultivating land with donkeys and hoes and
yeah. By hose, you mean like the hand? Like, what are you saying here?
Depending on how much wealth you had, I'm guessing. But yes, typically the hose that one hoed with their hands. Okay.
Yeah. I don't even hear that word right.
No, nobody does anymore. Our fragile little minds have been ruined. But in that era, they weren't terribly concerned with world events. They had their own local stuff that they had to deal with, and they had to survive.
Yeah.
But the creature comforts that we have now, if you'd have told those people 150 years ago the creature comforts that we have now, they'd have thought we'd have come from a different fucking planet.
So what changed when? I think it was
Industrial revolution.
Yeah, industrial. I think it was national, like TV. TV happened. The
invention of the camera of photographs.
Yeah,
probably. I mean that precedes TV and cameras or motion picture cameras.
It's like in or during World War II, people went to the theaters and occasionally they had news broadcasts.
Yeah.
And they got news in the paper.
Yeah, but you didn't live with it. It didn't follow you.
And probably not even on a nightly basis. You did not engage with news, but maybe once a week.
It didn't follow you to the bathroom. It didn't follow you and pop up with a notification during the middle of a family dinner.
I think that's a big recognition.
Yeah, and it's not. We're not talking about disconnecting with friends and loved ones. We're talking about disconnecting from
80 years ago.
Yeah,
people did not engage with the news daily.
No, and that's
most people.
Yeah.
Okay. And wow, that's valid.
They were probably they were a lot more blissful because of that.
And even 60 years ago, most people. So you're into the 1960s. Okay. So television sets are becoming more of a thing in living rooms.
Yeah.
Right. But not really. I mean, you had from the way I understand it, I wasn't around then. Way I understand it, it wasn't mass saturation. Like some people in the 60s had TV sets.
Sure, yeah.
But not everybody.
And if not TVs, radios. But guess what?
And then
those radios weren't mobile. They were in a corner in the living room, and the TVs were in a corner. You couldn't pick it up and take it with you.
That's true.
So,
wow. And so in the 1980s, I would say news was generally a nightly thing.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe 70s. You had Walter Cronkite in the 70s.
It didn't. The news didn't follow you around during the day, alerting you every 5 minutes to something. And
we got the 24-hour news cycle when
with I guess the emergence of satellite television.
Yeah.
Would have to be.
I think you're right. So when 9/11 happened, we had satellite
that
TV.
was available to us. Yeah. And then I think from the post 9/11. The 9/11 era.
So we're thinking like mid to late 90s. Satellite saw mass saturation.
Yeah, and so did news digestion. I guess is the best word.
Yeah,
like people want to. All of a sudden, now we want to be involved with everything that's going on.
I've never sat down to kind of work through it.
But even if you don't want to be a part of it, you're still by secondhand. It's still coming to you.
Oh, right now
by your friends group, your social circles, by work,
Facebook feed.
Yeah, it's still crossing your line of sight.
I can tattle on myself, right? I have this. I feel bad about it. It's like whenever I, have an indiscretion of another type. It's like whenever I'm like, oh, I'm gonna order Domino's tonight. It's like I'm going to consume something that's really bad.
Your day of Dionysius.
Bad. Yeah, I know it's bad. I'm going to do it because I'm kind of a shithead, right?
Because you're an independent man, a free-thinking man. And if I want to eat shit, I'll eat shit.
So I got a page on Twitter that like recaps like the top 10 like stories that and it comes out on Monday. And so every Monday, like at some point during the afternoon, I pull that up and I start going through it. It's super kind of conspiracist. And I feel like I've had this like horrible consumption.
Yeah.
Right? Whenever I do that.
No, your body is having to process it out and get it out.
Yeah. And so it's just super fun.
But it's
just, I mean, it's news.
It's an overall physiological effect, right? Like, I mean, bad news can affect people get diarrhea because they're too
and it's
stressed,
all
right?
bad. That's the thing.
Mental anguish
it's all bad news. It's like it wouldn't be news if it weren't
if it was
bad.
Happy.
Right?
Today, a bus full of children made it from school to everybody's houses successfully. Everybody lived and survived. No, that's not making it to the news.
Yeah. So and you can't watch the news and like sift and be like, oh yeah, I'm going to read this article. This will make me feel wonderful.
No, you can't. Yeah.
And it's like you're rolling the dice.
Yeah. But I'll find that what you're talking about, like, okay, 10 topics you need to know that happened during the week.
Yeah.
And the more I get involved with it, I'm like, no, I don't need to know. And you and I have talked about like knowing too much is not a good thing.
No, I don't
there
think
needs to be a cutoff.
It's like you can only knowing doesn't really level you up.
No, it doesn't. Sometimes it really tears you down.
Yeah. Like we have recognitions as old dudes.
Yeah.
Right? As we get older, we gain certain recognitions. That's not knowledge.
Right.
That's different.
Yeah. Yeah. I love the quote. I forget who it's from, but the quote is, when you stare into the abyss, sometimes the abyss stares back.
Is that Nietzsche?
Back. Is it Nietzsche?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. And it's true. If you look too far into the abyss, you're probably going to end up with something you don't want to know.
Yeah.
And
so you keep it solid, local, like personal.
Yeah,
right?
Find your little bubble.
Right.
Your little bubble. So the nuclear family.
Okay, so you bring up bubble, and I kind of mentioned that. So last night we were sitting around after Cora's birthday party, and
having some whiskey,
and it's great. But I remember I mentioned this last night, but I remember sitting there looking at the crowd at Cora's birthday party, which is predominantly made up of, friends that we know around Decatur.
True. Yeah.
And then people who live in your addition that you've come to know, and their kids.
Yeah. We have literally next door neighbors. We have two, other than our girl, we have two newborn or, baby girls that are within 3 or 4 months of Cora's age.
Yep. Yeah.
Right.
So there's a lot of kids at this birthday party. And I got to counting and I was like, okay, this is interesting because all the people there, only we could identify one person that was on their second marriage.
Ooh, yeah.
Everybody else there was married. And this ranged from like young families to people in our age group and beyond. But yeah, that's like everybody there, with the exception of one person, has been in a long-term nuclear marriage.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And
that's
so
not to say that's been an easy road for them, right?
Oh God, no.
It's a battle-worn, pothole-ridden road.
Fuck yeah, I love my wife.
Yeah.
But
it takes work.
We've been through hell together.
It takes work for you to love her and for her to love you back. It is not an even playing field.
I know.
And it's not an easy one either.
Right.
And I think if more people went into marriage understanding that, they would come out, there would be more successful marriages.
Oh, I think so. But okay, so I think people nowadays don't generally divorce like they did when we were kids.
Yeah. You think that is
and I may be wrong.
Do you think that is because all
wrong.
Those divorces have taken place, or do you think that we are coming to a new age of enlightenment regarding, or I'm not a new age?
That's a valid question.
Do you think we are reciprocating or on a cyclical thing? Everything goes in circles, right? Styles, fashions, foods,
true.
Everything.
Yeah, I've heard this for a long time.
Are we on a revolving?
And we're kind of coming back around to actually appreciate and recognize. Or are we just in a bubble? Do we live in a town that's attracting people?
Don't
like
think
that?
So. I think it is overall a social. I hate to say movement. I don't feel like movement's the right word. Overall, I think it is a social
effect.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, and this may be because of social media and influencers that are talking about homesteads and talking about
Jordan Peterson.
Yeah. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, obviously that dude has had unprecedented popularity and exposure.
Yeah.
You can't.
And some true goddamn struggles.
Like a couple of years ago, I'd talk about Jordan Peterson, 2 to 4 years ago. And I encountered a lot of people that are like, who's that?
Yeah.
And now not so much.
Yeah. He's prolific now.
Yeah.
And very popular. So maybe it is conversations that have taken place and just small tidbits here and there that add up. Like, okay, family dinners at home. Moving the phones away from keeping the phones in the bedroom while
there are some
families are together.
Like healthy ideas that are coming forward.
Getting the TVs out of the bedroom.
Right.
Family traveling, family vacations. It's
you say that, and I hope you're right. I think like that is sounding correct.
I hope I am right too, because as I get older, like, there's certain thrills that you would chase.
Yeah.
As younger men.
Heck yeah, man.
And I think one of the most favorite things I
can tell you her name.
Yeah. There's a few of her.
Yeah.
And they were bad news, man. They were bad news.
Yeah.
Thank God those that we chased got away, right?
Amen. God, you're right.
I love sitting around the table with you guys as my bros and my best friends and just we don't drink to get drunk. We're sipping on whiskey, and it's opening up dialogues. It's networking, it's communication. But I think the biggest thrill for me these days is my wife, like being loved.
Mm-hmm. What does that mean? What does that mean to you?
To have somebody there that unconditionally, even though sometimes they want to fucking stab you in the forehead with a butcher knife.
Yeah, because you're being stupid and cockamamie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, just and dip snuff.
They're still there because they love you.
Mm-hmm.
Because they want to succeed with you. Because even through the bad times.
And this is apropos because it's Valentine's week. Yeah. Okay, so keep going, please.
Even through the bad times, their sentiment is, I would really like to keep going through this negativity and achieve success at the end of it, to achieve a breakthrough and growth. And I want to love you because that I've chosen you and you've chosen me, and we want to succeed together. And so I think having somebody that really genuinely fucking cares about you is a really wonderful thrill, and it's a really good feeling. And it's like,
so what are you saying? What are you saying? Are you saying like somebody that's willing to sacrifice for the sake of your growth, and then that
and you
happens
for them
bilaterally?
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. And then, so is that the definition of love in its most like
purest form?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Okay,
absolutely. Because there's always the butterflies. There's always the I'm in love. I'm so in love. I can't. I'm infatuated. The obsession that fades away, right?
Yeah. So okay. So
there's always attractive people everywhere you look. There's always beautiful, attractive people.
Fuck yeah, there is. They're everywhere.
They don't give a shit about you. The person that loves you and gives a shit about you is always going to be the most attractive and the one that you want to circle back to and just make it through life with. And then raising a family
So is just getting through life a sacrifice? Like getting through life with somebody is a sacrifice in and of itself.
Yeah.
And so that induces...
Yeah, there are elements of death of self that are, necessary.
Yeah.
Completely necessary.
So is marriage that way? It's like committing to staying with somebody through life, and life is such that it has perennial struggles.
Yeah.
Okay, that is true to the best that I can weigh, right? And by committing to go through perennial struggles with somebody will promote love by definition.
Yeah.
Holy shit, man.
1,000% yes.
Okay.
And what a great role model for your youth, for your kids, for people that, you depart this earth for and you leave behind. Setting them up for success. Like we shouldn't look at future generations as a fucking burden. We should look at them as
joke, right? Yeah.
Somebody that needs to carry on, and they need to have the roots established and the knowledge that you can and you will succeed, but it's going to take a toll. It's going to take sacrifices. It's going to take commitment. It's going to take heartache. It's going to take heartbreak. I had this. You have to go through the negative shit to achieve this successful, blissful era. I mean, not era, but
it's
mindset.
It's an art form. Yeah. I had this idea whenever we were talking to Eddie Allen, was that nobody just steps into the role that he's in, councilman, and just like picks up the torch and keeps it going. No, there's got to be kind of this training that happens.
Yeah.
That can't be taught.
Yeah.
And so there's really good reasons why all the council people are not elected on the same year, and there's like holdover, right?
Yeah.
So that position can be trained. But it's the same thing with marriage and life.
However, there are exceptions. Like we're talking about normal, everyday guys like you and me.
Yeah.
There are exceptions. Like if you're being abused or beaten, or if a spouse is beating
you're with
your
a fucking dickhead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then it's time to jump ship or put a bullet in their head.
There are always
the Whiskey Bros do not condone killing of spouses, but We're just saying, if you've
not saying everybody doesn't have some degree of narcissist, but yeah,
right.
it's like,
but if it takes
get
the
with
leap,
somebody who abuses or emotionally, and it's not a clear line. That's what I've recognized.
Yeah, but physical abuse is one thing,
emotional abuse,
sexual abuse, chronic drug usage, alcoholism. There are times when it's like, okay, yeah, I give up. Yeah, I'm done. Get out of my life.
It's
100%.
It's hard to know when love. I know and have had patients who are in relationships that I look at, okay, and I say, oh yeah, that's fucked up.
Yeah, if you're in that situation, you don't need to feel like, oh, I've got to stay with this to make you can't.
But it's never black and white.
It's true. It's not. Especially for the end user, the person that's going through it.
Right. But I will say, to the best of my assessment and knowing the people who were at the party, that I was like, wow, there are a lot of partnered people here
who have been through some shit and are have made it out of some shit or are currently making it through some shit. It was hugely
optimistic to me.
It really is. And it is also, I mean, for them to be surrounded by people that have currently good marriages, like it's got to be a good symbiosis. Like if you're around people that want to achieve a successful marriage, want to make it through not just marriage, but anything in life, then that projects onto you or that projects onto them. And that's a wonderful symbiosis.
Man, that's crazy.
Now, if you're around a bunch of negative Nancys that talk about hating their spouses and, it's a bitch fest about every freaking thing in their life, then you're going to end up just like them. It's going to project onto you. You're going to take it home with you, and it's going to make your life miserable too, even though yours wasn't to begin with.
Yeah, but you can't snap your fingers and change something like that.
No.
Or B, recognize that needs to be changed.
Yeah, they have to.
That's the hard part.
Yeah. We really need Savage Bro for his blunt.
Yeah, no, he'll say, no, it's easy. It's be like this. Yeah.
It is black and white. What are you talking about? Jeez.
Oh, man. I know. We kind of got off into a rabbit hole there. So I like John Vervaeke's. So this is a guy you need to look up.
Okay.
Not just you. I'm saying like you, the audience, needs to look up. And just know that he exists. He may not speak to you right now, but he's a scientist, a cognitive scientist. So he's pretty level-headed.
Yeah.
Not uber religious, but trying to find the elements of religion that are sacred, right?
Okay.
So that's kind of cool. I can consider myself what I am.
Yeah.
But there again, to kind of have an eye on somebody who's kind of picking and probing religion, just trying to find what's sacred about it.
So that's interesting because as I'm getting older and this nuclear family model, like maybe you return to church, not just because even if you don't believe in a God or whatever.
Sure.
There is still a community in church and there's still camaraderie and good, positive spiritual vibes that maybe you have your case.
It's like, what does that mean?
I had my weird fucking episode in Santa Fe a year and a half ago for no reason whatsoever. And I was just walking into a building.
Yeah, you're walking into a quote unquote building.
You could feel the spirituality there. Like,
okay, so there's something there that the material rationalist can't make sense of because it can't exist in words, right? It can't be explained.
Yeah. Well,
right.
And it also can't be passed over. Like nobody leaves. If they have, I've never heard them, but nobody leaves a church going, oh boy, that was a bad day at church. Right. No, that never happens. Nobody leaves church in a bad mood.
I don't know. I got into a negative cycle with church.
Okay.
So this is interesting.
Okay. Let's hear. Yeah.
Because
I'm finally on this 10th mountain. That nose on that is fantastic.
It is. No, it's right. I've actually been through. I grew up Southern Baptist, but Southern Baptist has kind of become evangelical,
Sure.
over the years, and there is a lot of
pessimism.
No, it's like I compare it to what's that? Whenever you just like keeping up with the Joneses.
Oh yes,
yeah. There's a lot of that going.
You're keeping up with the Joneses. Yeah, it's a lot
and it's not just economic, but it even in morality, in a moral sense, like being part of a group so that the group can see that you're being part of the group, so that you can be seen as being more honorable. I say it, I see it very much as like the virtue signaling of the right.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh no, I thought I thought the right was above reproach. Right. No.
Yeah, yeah.
Everybody thinks their political faction is always above reproach. Like people in the right wing, no, you're not.
We saw virtue signaling of the left.
Yeah,
they were called masks. yeah, right. But even the right has has its own level of virtue signal, and it could be okay. So I've made note of this. It's like sometimes whenever I go to family dinners, they're like, and we have calf fries. Or we go to a restaurant, and if there's calf fries, there's like, oh, gotta have the calf fries, gotta eat the calf fries. It's like that feels like a virtue signal to me, right? But also even like going to church, there's this like tendency to
eat the calf fries.
Yeah, to be the do-gooder and to be seen as the do-gooder.
You have to make a public event, or not a public, but put yourself out there. Yeah, okay.
But I don't see that. I think you're right. It's like
you can't just be the quiet person sitting in the back pew taking the message for what it's worth.
Yeah. And however, church, quote unquote, church, being the institution that honors the sacred for being sacred, well, there's that too.
Yeah.
And whenever you throw out the baby with the bathwater, maybe you're losing a very important thing. And I would say John Vervaeke says that.
So does he have
that's weird. We kind of got on that rabbit hole just because I mentioned John Vervaeke.
So does he have his own political? I'm sorry, let me back that up. Does he have his own podcast? This whiskey's starting to get to me, bro.
Yeah, he does.
Okay,
and he actually has a 50 lecture series.
So he's also a professor.
He's a professor of cognitive science at University of Toronto. But and it's one.
What is up with the prolific Canadians?
Man, they are. Jonathan Pajot, Matthew Pajot,
Shania Twain, Michael J. Fox.
Right?
Oh no.
It's like Canada is really putting out.
Yeah. They're getting the most attention because of what I guess,
I mean, it fucking sucks living up there.
Yeah, the Canadians, and they're kind of coming to an oppressive place.
Yeah. But with that said, some of the lead thinking is happening in Canada, it seems,
and making the most noise, and trickling all the way down here.
But he has a lecture series I've watched twice.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's 50 lectures long, like 50 hours long. And it's called Awakening from the Meaning Crisis. And he's been to Oxford to lecture there. So other people recognize that this is like really significant thought.
Yeah.
And he's not a Christian, but he's trying to find what's sacred.
Okay.
And it's kind of led him to
what would
otherwise be considered like religious thinking.
Perhaps he's being led down this path. Like, there's miraculous ways that lead you to these revelations.
Yes.
Right.
But all that said, the whole reason I brought up John Vervaeke was his definition of love is mutually accelerating opening.
Okay.
I know that's deep, right?
Spell that. Spell that out. Let's lay that. Open that up, baby.
Mutually accelerating opening. So what does it mean to be open with somebody? Completely open.
100% vulnerable.
Yeah.
Like letting all of your worst fears, your darkest fantasies, everything's on the table.
Yeah. So there's who can you be open with? I mean, we make the claim at being open with each other with the Whiskey Bros. I would say we really are.
Yeah, we are, but we're not male and female.
But we're not living with each other.
Yeah, we're not living with each other.
Right?
We're not sexually and intimately involved with each other.
Yeah, or financial. We're not even, I mean, we're a little financially involved.
That's how we got started, yeah.
Yeah, we're not really.
We're millionaires because of it. I'm just joking. That's an alternate universe.
But if you decide to go splurge on a bottle of whiskey, it doesn't affect me.
Yeah, it does because you get to drink the whiskey.
It does. It does.
It affects you in a positive light, but I don't have to call you up and go, "Hey, I found this bottle of whiskey. Hey, how's the bank account looking? Is it a good idea? No, we can't. Okay, I won't buy it. No, it's not happening.
Yeah, but with your wife,
with your spouse and your wife or your husband, that kind of communication is.
Yeah, exactly. And not only that, but like your spouse's parents take ill. Like you got to like step into some really perennial roles.
Yeah.
And that, so there's a certain realism that even friends don't have to partake in.
Yeah, absolutely. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. So to be open with somebody and then mutually accelerating. So over time.
So that's a curious term, mutually accelerating.
Right. Over time, both parties kind of experience a bonding.
Mm-hmm.
So what does that mean? Well, that means like a mutually accelerating opening.
Mm-hmm.
So they're quicker to not hold back parts of themselves towards their partner.
And what would be the reason, to hold back? You feel like you're going to be criticized or judged, or we still haven't evolved past the point of every we treat every conflict as if it's a threat and an affront or a threat to our life. That's the immediate. Even though as a human we can still get past it, but the immediate response is this is life threatening.
Yeah,
we haven't evolved past that.
Okay, so I think that's a very important observation.
If I have to tell, I went gambling and I lost $2,500. My immediate response would be, I can't tell my wife that because I might lose my life. My wife might leave me and my life's over.
Yeah.
But
at some point it becomes like, well, fuck, I did this.
I didn't lose $2,500 gambling, babe. That's just in case. She does. My wife does listen to our podcast. I commend her for that because damn. That's quite a commitment.
Yeah. It's like committing to hours. Yeah, true story. But yeah, it's like I think things on whole are more positive than we give them credit for.
Yeah.
Give things credit for.
Yeah, we are our own worst enemy.
Yeah, it's true.
What's happening in here is probably tenfold worse than how it plays out in real life.
Yeah.
And that's the part you got to get past, I guess, to be vulnerable and be a part of this mutually accelerated
opening.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I think societally, thanks to the news, right? We think things are worse than what they really are.
True.
When they might be on the verge of getting fucked, but not literally. I mean, like things might be bad.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like I did drive to the podcast in a Tesla.
Yeah. Life is typically pretty good. We like to obsess about what could happen. Like we have this obsession with end of times, end of world.
Oh, it's true. I'm on one because I'm reading a book.
Yeah, obviously by our fantasy or fictional stories and novels, television. I mean, there was a decade of zombie movies proliferated.
Yeah, for good reason.
Yeah, apocalyptic movies proliferated.
Yeah.
I'm embodying savage, bro. I'm savage here.
Proliferated.
Yes.
But the zombie stands for something, just like vampire stood for something.
Oh, yeah.
Right? During the age of vampire novel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What is your interpretation of that standing for in that age?
Right. So the vampire is somebody who preys on. So it's the age of power.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You can just kind of suck the lifeblood out of other people to fuel yourself.
So this would be like the I guess the Egyptian slavery era.
But the romantic era was that, and it was the era of, you know, that mega industry actually kind of got its tone. Right.
Yeah.
And I may be talking about something I know completely nothing about.
That's what we do here.
Yeah, it's true. But zombieism, we're seeing that too. We're seeing
now that's starting to play out.
Crisis.
It's starting to play. Oh God, it's just starting to play out in real life.
Yeah.
You have the obedient, mask wearing, multiple boosted.
Yeah,
they're out there.
Right.
Can't look away from.
But
their
even
phone.
on the right side, you know, we know people who on the right
that don't want to think for themselves.
Yeah, they could be considered zombies.
Yeah.
And so it's on both sides.
It is absolutely on both sides. It's just a matter of people wanting to live in that little comfort.
Yeah.
And having things provided for them. They don't want to be accused of critical thinking. They don't want to look inward. That's for sure.
Yeah.
They don't ever want to admit they might be the problem, their own worst enemy.
Oh man, but I love me some zombie fiction.
Oh yeah, it was a fun
Last
decade.
of Us. Do we have a second season yet?
No, but it's coming.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
It's coming. Those were great video games, but they were. I mean, it wasn't.
Yeah,
the zombie aspect of that was almost a second. Story
to the
outside of the human conflict that comes.
Yeah, the dynamic element of who was the male character?
Joel.
Joel.
Yeah.
Dynamic element of him learning to accept the responsibility of the female character.
Yeah, but it also championed that in any apocalyptic event, the human element is going to trump, or the human conflict is going to trump any secondary disease, virus.
Wow, that's
zombie.
Big thinking right there. Yeah.
And there was a movie on Netflix. I can't remember. It had Julia Roberts in it. It was about a war, an invasion type event.
I've seen the trailer for this.
Yeah. Is it Don't Go Outside or Don't Stay? I can't remember. But anyways, it ended up showcasing the fact that, you know, if your country's being invaded by unknown forces, you think that you could rely on your fellow man.
It was something about the end of the world, right?
No, this was about an invasion on America.
Yeah, okay. So they were like in New York and they went out of New York. They got an Airbnb.
Bingo.
Okay, I did watch that. That was really interesting.
I could not stop watching. It's the first movie I've seen in a long time.
That's my wife and I. Yeah.
And it really showcased the fact that when shit hits the fan, the people you think you could lean on or depend on, everybody's going to kind of turn inward.
But you know,
take care. It's self-preservation is what comes first.
Yeah, I wish we could think of what that series is. I'm not even going to look.
It's not a series. It's a movie.
Yeah, it's a movie.
Julia Roberts.
But the youngest character just wants to watch her last Friends episode.
Yes.
She happens into a bunker.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, just by taking in media, like everything becomes okay.
That's her. That's her safety net.
Of the So that was interesting.
Yeah, the Russians may be invading, but I finally found my Friends episode.
Yeah,
but man, we almost missed the mark. We were talking about Peterson earlier,
right?
And
so
I happened on this the soundbite from one of his podcasts, episode 411. It's the title is "You Are Already Living in 1984," but they were talking about the climate and the agendas associating with all the climate change talk and furthering oppression of mankind because of something that probably is happening and maybe accelerated by man, but not something that we won't be able to overcome or adapt to. Right. They're still. Their big deal is like, this is the end of the world.
If narrative can be attached to it, okay, whether it's climate or whether it's COVID, then you should be at your base suspicious.
They're right? Exactly. And their agenda is fear and control. Right. And the ultimate end game is control, right?
I think so.
Yeah. But this is the sound bite from him that I want to play here real quick.
Okay.
Yeah, well, when I grew up, cars were still synonymous with freedom, and I think in North America, especially where I grew up, because I grew up in this little town way the hell out on the edge of the prairie. The nearest real city was 400 miles away, and so I lived in my damn car from the time I was really 16 onward, especially in my late teens and early 20s. I mean, car was synonymous with freedom. And, I've thought for a long time that one of the most effective acts of subversion the free West ever managed in relationship to the communist countries was to invent the automobile, because the automobile is really the material embodiment of the ethos of individual freedom. You can jump in your car. Nobody knows where the hell you are. They can't keep track of you, although that's starting to change. And you can go wherever you want without asking. That's a big deal. And then when I started to see, hypothetical utopians go after automobiles, I thought, man, if you hate cars, I'm probably your enemy. Cars.
Wow.
Profound, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's true.
Yeah. He nailed it.
Yeah.
Like I love the sexiness and the allure of automobiles, but that is the fundamental.
When you go after cars.
Yeah, that is the fundamental aspect of being an American or a United States citizen with liberty and the availability to leave and go wherever the fuck you want at any moment and any time you want.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the Nazis behind the climate change agenda want to end that. They want 15-minute cities. They want foot traffic. They want mass transit. And then I'm sure, the next step logically is so many permits are going to be allocated for automobiles. I guarantee you that's what's going to happen in Europe.
Really?
Mm-hmm. It's always Europe.
Yeah.
It's always Europe.
I know, right? Yeah. That's with all that said, Europe is facing some hard times.
Yeah, but I think they're going to overcome them. I think there's been some positive. Mm-hmm. I'm still not privy to what exactly the farmers were protesting. I know it was multifaceted.
Yeah, it's like stricter regulations.
But I think their parliaments and their governing bodies have given in to some degree.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
the pendulum is starting to
shift away. Yeah. Shift away back to man, and from activists and from elites.
Yeah.
From people that are out of touch.
I think in no small part because of what we're doing right here, because of podcast.
Okay, there you go. So why podcasts are so effing needed.
Yeah, right? Okay, so I was driving today, sitting there driving, thinking to myself, but realizing that I'm just talking in my head and agreeing with everything I say.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So there's something about putting you in front of a camera or a microphone and saying, okay, talk. And everybody can listen. Right? And then talking with somebody who can actually disagree or help you form your thoughts. Like there's something about this long form thing, which we call podcast, that is extremely helpful that I don't get in my car driving around listening to jazz, like listening to my own thoughts. Right?
Yeah.
And so I think podcasts in a way are a return to something we had, which was the fire, the hearth, the front porch, right? The actual time we spent sitting down and just talking.
Yeah.
And so, I'm rather optimistic about
it's
that.
The essence of good journalism, right? Like you sit.
We went through an era that we called journalism, like going out and getting the facts and then conveying those facts. But
now it's been polluted by bias and
Yeah, it was polluted
and-
by sound bites.
Sure. Yeah, but it's also been polluted
Right.
by anchors, news anchors, and media moguls that want to introduce their own opinion or their own bias. So, like what we've been doing here, I think is with the elected representatives, it's like good journalism.
Yeah,
Because we're not debating them.
I really do.
We're not interjecting with our own opinion and thoughts. There's multiple times that all of these people have said here.
I've not agreed with everybody.
Yeah, I don't agree with that, but we're not here for that. We're here to flesh out who this person is, what they're doing, why they're doing it, what the role is, what the work is,
and let the listener like develop their own opinion.
Yeah, their own interpretation of it. On a global scale, I'm indifferent to Tucker Carlson.
Yeah,
but he's made his mark. And he interviewed Vladimir Putin.
He's made some shitty calls too.
Right? Sure.
It's like,
he's had some political biases, but I think as he becomes more and more popular and more integrated to mainstream, that he's I don't know. But anyways, I have not watched the full interview, but it's funny that my interpretation of what he did with Vladimir Putin is journalism. He's just asking questions.
I need to watch that.
He's not saying I think this or I think that.
Yeah.
But it's funny that he comes up as abrasive and everybody's accusing him of a treasonous act. Although through the past decade, like 4 other journalists from MSNBC, CBS, ABC have all interviewed Putin. And it's funny, they're not treasonous. They're not
Tucker's
traitors.
easy guy to put the target on.
He's fresh red meat, and because of his political bias in the past, that didn't serve him well. But what he's doing right now is true journalism. He's just asking questions.
I need to watch that for sure. So I will this week.
Okay,
cool.
But yeah, you're dead nuts with the podcast and the long format and the fleshing. You're able to flesh thing out.
Yeah, it's cool. We've just had a dialogue. Okay, so what's a dialogue? To the best of and Vervaeke defines this.
Okay.
So a dialogue is where two people talk and they talk as openly and honestly as possible. And then they recognize that something grows out of that conversation. They kind of have mutual recognitions with that dialogue, which kind of serves as the truth that emerges from the dialogue itself. It's like, okay, I can think and say one thing, you can think and say something else, but whenever you pit those two things against each other and you just see where it goes, like some truth emerges from that. So that's really cool. And I think that is the long form thing that is happening right now. And
because of that, you as a listener, not just the presenter, but the person presenting becomes more of a human to you.
Yeah.
They're humanized once again.
Yep.
Because you're sitting in the seat next to us.
Right.
Right.
It's like whenever we started this podcast tonight, we had 5 bullet points.
That fleshed out to an hour and a half.
Right. And we did not really like follow those bullet points.
No, in fact, we skipped one. I closed it so we wouldn't keep going.
Oh man. So yeah, cool shit, man.
Yeah, it really
like
is.
I've missed, you go on 3 weeks, I started jonesing for these things.
Yeah, and I missed this. I love having our guests.
Yeah.
This is the most important. I mean, this is the fundamental of the Whiskey Bro around the table. Just this.
Yeah. I love it. Have you ever had a piece of art, either that you bought or you like drew or something, you realize things after the fact? So I've had several, and where I've paintings.
Once you get into your house and by looking at it constantly or over and over, just passing it by.
Yeah. And I have one. Okay. So I have, that church on Hell Street.
Yes.
Okay. That little,
White
I guess
chapel.
It's Episcopalian white chapel. Yeah. So Meisner. Okay. So this is I've never met Meisner, right? He's a local dude. He's an old dude.
I've never heard of him.
Yeah, so he does paintings, and he's on like the Wise County. I've talked to people about this dude.
Yeah.
I own a painting from this guy.
So he's alive.
I need to meet him.
Is alive and kicking?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's alive and kicking.
Okay.
Painting.
Okay.
And I have one of his artworks in my house, and I keep looking at it. I keep recognizing ways that artwork drew me into it, you know, to make me, and over time I learned things about myself through that artwork. And I have had paintings myself to where as I reflect on them 2 years, 5 years later, 10 years later, that I recognize, oh, wow, there's a lot more to this than I thought it was.
Is that because you as a person are consistently changing and adapting and
perhaps?
Or is it because there's little minute details that you really didn't notice in the painting?
Maybe. Yeah. Who knows?
Okay.
Right? And so, but dialogue is a bit like that too.
Yeah.
You know?
You're going to pick up on aspect if you re-listen or revisit a year or so later.
Like people are changing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shit.
Minute by minute. Should ask Savage about artists. I miss that guy. Right, he's not dead, though. He's not dead. No, he'll be back.
His daughter is doing volleyball.
No, he's at home.
What?
He is here.
What the fuck?
He can't miss Taylor Swift. I'm telling you, bro.
Dude.
It's Taylor Swift. You can't miss her.
I mean, YouTube. It's like, I will be YouTubing the halftime show tomorrow.
Who is the halftime performer?
I don't know.
I remember somebody
I can't even tell you who's playing in the fucking game.
It's Taylor Swift's team and not Taylor Swift's team. That's who's playing. Okay. Oh, well,
man.
How does that do it for you?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, that's
great.
It up for
Thanks
me.
for the conversation.
Oh, it was great. It was a great night. Great chat.
Yep.
And on that note, happy Valentine's and very romantic Valentine's Day.
I know. Do some. Are y'all doing anything for Valentine's Day?
I have no plans.
Right. We don't either.
Yeah.
So, there's a great set for lineup at Steve's Wine Bar in Denton.
Oh, I've been to
come Saturday night.
Yeah.
So we may go out there.
Like a jazz thing or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's
a little ensemble.
But I've heard from an insider, it's actually some of Denton's best. And they're kind of all getting together.
Yeah.
So.
You remember the Whiskey Bros in the early era of the Whiskey Bros all happened upon Steve's Wine Bar.
Yeah. By accident.
Yeah. And had a good conversation with said Steve and loved the place. Great wine.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens, but maybe Saturday night we need to find some childcare.
That'd be fun.
I know a couple of girls.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe get out.
There's a couple of 14-year-olds in the family packs now that it's like
it's true.
Babysitting. Babysitting. Okay. But well, the Whiskey Bros love you and we appreciate your diligent listening and continued fandom. So good night.
Good night. Adios.
You've been listening to the Whiskey Bros Around the Table. Gracias por convivir con los hermanos Whiskey.